welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be taking off these brakes and these rotors, and we're going to replace them with some performance rotors and brakes that I have bought over the last week that are slotted and drilled on the platform. These things are still a little hot, so I'm going to have to be careful I'm taking them off. But today I'm going to be showing you how to replace your brakes. So let's get to it. Let's get these apart. Hopefully I get these done before it gets dark. I got about 2 hours. So on the back of the caliper we have 2 bolts here and 1 here, and this holds on this plate that holds our brakes in place. And back here that you can't see back towards the back, there's 2 bolts at top and the bottom that hold on the caliper to this rotor. First we're going to pop off this top bolt so that this will fold down, and that we can get the brake plates out of here, and that we can get them out and get to work on changing out our brakes. Find the right size here. This is a 14. Let's grab our ratchet and be really careful to small. Got tons of different ratchets here. Got the big boy. So we're going to be really careful when taking this apart. Got to get a little persuasive there with it sometimes. It gets stuck. This one's coming off pretty good. There's our bolt. It's all the way out. Put it in a place that you know you're going to be able to find it. And your rotor should pop free just like that. And the brake cable is not being pulled on, so we're going to let it dangle. Then these should just slide right on out. And even though these things aren't totally worn out, I'm replacing them anyway because I have some carbon fiber ceramic brakes and some nice new rotors. But let's get these on out of there. There's our other brake plate. You can see this one has a clip, which means this one's going to go on the back side. And so I'm going to put this here just to make sure, separate them, see the difference. So that's going to tell me which one goes where, so I need to make sure I remember that. So now those are out, and we have this open. We're going to put this back up and close for now. Yes, I did slam that. But we're going to put this bolt back in, and we're going to move on to removing our caliper for now. Just trying to get the best fit, which you always want to make sure you have when you remove stuff. You do not want to strip out a bolt. This one's the tightest fit I could find, and it is an 18. So we're gonna go with this one. I think this has a different socket head to it though. So we're gonna grab our other socket, and this one's short, so we will grab an extension for it out of our pack. I got tons of tools, so I got everything I need here. I got a huge socket set, Husky socket set, which I think are the best, but that's just my opinion. So use what you have, and sometimes these are really stuck, so you just got to persuade them. I'm gonna try the bottom one real quick. Hopefully I can get this one off, then I'll work back on the top. Put my weight on it. It's moving. Putting your weight on it for me is the best option, I feel like, since usually they come out really smoothly once you do that. It also doesn't really hurt your tools a lot. And now you just gotta use a lot. Time enough to get this done. This is gonna take a minute, but there we go. First one's off. And that's a big bolt. Whew. Top one, let's hope I can use my body weight again on this one. I'm gonna put my foot on it. Hopefully I can bounce it enough. I think I got it there. There it is, see? Just a little bit of work there, guys. And it'll move. Putting it back on is just going to be just as tough. We're going to have to put a lot of pressure, make sure we seal it right. I'm all hands today, dropping everything. Very, very straining. Started out cold when I got out here, that's why I got a jacket on. But now, this workout has made it kind of warm. Almost there, I feel like. Almost there. I suggest getting a breaker bar, and I know I have one. I just don't know where it is. You know, wait, so you guys see. Second bullet out. And we're just going to lift this off. There's our caliper. We're just going to set down close to the ground. I can set down. And I might have to break that free with a hammer. But I'm going to kick it first. Oh, and I'm stupid here, guys. It's got a little screw on it. Didn't see it at first. I know some do, some don't have this screw, but mine does. So now that I figured that out, and it's a small one, I'm gonna take this screw out and then try it again. I'll put this extension on it so it can free spin. And there we go. There's our screw. All out, set to the side. Remember where you set it. All that kicking for nothing. And there's our caliper. No, I mean, our rotor. And I'll show you guys the new one here in a second. You guys can see the difference in it. And we're still back over here. Before I stick it on, this is the new rotor, and this one comes with markings which I really like. But see, this is the difference between the old one and the new one. But I'm gonna pop this on here. But first, actually before I pop it on here, I'm gonna have some brake cleaner. I'm gonna spray this thing off and wipe it down to make sure there's no oil on this, because sometimes they package these with oil on it to keep it looking nice. So I'll make sure there's no oil on this thing, and then I'm gonna install this this rotor and brake. This is what your brake cleaner should look like, and some come with a little nozzle on it like this. You just push it on and you spray off your rotor. So you just go straight in here and you just spray off your rotor and then wipe it down with some paper towels and make sure that they're clean before you go to work, before you put these on. There wasn't any oil really on this rotor, but I pulled off that sticker that told me where this one goes. That way it was clean, and had nothing on it. Push that back in place, And they just make this one. Good thing that I got the right ones, but they made it where everything goes back in place like before. We'll tighten the screw back on and into place. That will secure this rotor like that. Just going to give it a quick spin. Just doing that to make sure that it's not hitting anything. I know it's not supposed to, and it probably won't, but I'm just doing a double check to make sure. Now we're going to stick back on our caliper. So we're going to take those two screws yourself to the side, if you remember where you put them, and you're going to want to hand tighten them up first, just to make sure they're in there before you get to work. So I'm just going to take these and I'm going to put both of them into their slots so that they're both supported. It's not as fun as it looks, by the way, but it's what you want to do when you don't want to pay to have a mechanic put on for you. And this is not that hard of a job. Almost anybody can do this. It really doesn't take much. It just takes the parts, the tools, and your time. You can do this in a relatively small amount of time, so it's not that much of a waste. Top screws on. Bottom screws on. And actually, one thing I forgot to do, which I'm going to take them back apart, is I forgot to put thread lock on them. So I'm going to actually take them back apart real quick and put some thread lock on it. I'm all over the place right now. But take off the bottom one and put thread lock on it. But this is just to make sure that with all that jiggling that happens to your rotors and to the calipers, that these bolts don't just pop back apart on you while you're driving. And I just got this from O'Reilly's, so you can find it anywhere. We're just going to squeeze out a little bit on top, just like that. We'll tighten it back down in there. Now once we get these back in here, we're going to tighten them down as best as we can with our hands. Just get them really, really snug, really, really fit. Make sure all your brake lines are secure, everything looks good to you. And that nothing looks bad and out of place. So that one's tight, but it's not fully tight, so we're just going to swing it around. We're going to put it here. Get over here. And I'm just going to push really hard on these guys. And then I'm going to swing it around. I'm going to swing it down and underneath. And from here, we're going to pull on it. Just. And that should pretty much tighten it up securely. And it won't go anywhere. Now we're going to move back to the top one, which we will be removing since the fact I didn't put thread lock on it. But I got it back off. Some thread lock on this one. Don't need a whole lot, but that one came out a little bit much, but it's fine. I'm just going to slip back in there and tighten it on down. Real secure, guys. As tight as you can get that. That's fun. But now there's that back on. Now we're going to move back to this bolt here. back out, because now we're going to put in our new brakes. Set this back down, open it back up. I left everything in the plastic till I took them out, just to make sure everything stayed clean and nice. So I'm cutting off the plastic of these real quick, surrounding my brakes real quick, and I'll show you guys what they look like. And these are carbon fiber ceramic brakes for this car. They look really, really nice, really, really clean. Now, if you remember, I showed you guys the clip on this one that goes on the back side, so we gotta remember that. But they sent me new metal pieces and new rubbers, so we're gonna change these out real quick and make sure everything stays nice and clean. So this is the clip that came off, except they're just like this. So we're gonna take the exact same clip out of this bag, and this bag's for both front brakes, so there should be 2 of each, 2 for the top, 2 for the bottom in these, so that I'll have 1 for each side. Just want to make sure it's the same thing, so everything looks the same, everything looks good. And we're just going to take the clip, I'm going to pop it right back in where the old one came out of. Just like that. That looks good to me. And then we're going to pop off the bottom clip. This looks about the same, so we're just going to pop this in here. That one fits snugly. We're going to take our 2 new brakes, clip on the bottom, remember, and we're just going to slide them into place here in their grooves. Make sure everything fits right. Let's slide in the front one first so we watch. It's fun, guys. Fun all day long with these. And that's snug in there. So there's that one. Now we'll snap in the back one. And there's that one in there, and those are in place. So throw our old clips off with our old brakes, and we'll see if this thing will close. Nope, it will not. Our brake currently, these 2 pieces have come out too far, which I kind of feared would happen. But I have a brake spreader here, and we're going to spread the brakes back out so that we can put the new ones on. So we have this here, and this just goes on it, but you're going to take an old brake plate, and don't really matter how it goes, just push it up in there like this. We're going to set that down for a minute. I hope you guys can see this. Tighten this down, and it should compress the caliper pieces in the back, making it where you can slide on your brake. There we go. They compressed that side. Now you're just going to want to wiggle it out, move it down to the bottom side, just to make sure you get both. And then just start twisting it down again. And twist this one all the way in too. Alright, that should be about it. Hopefully that sits right. We're going to attempt to close. If they don't close, we'll tighten down some more. But it fits. So, since I didn't replace those rubbers, if you figure out how to, go ahead. I actually didn't look it up. I should have, if I actually thought about it, because I saw the rubbers in the box. And I had never replaced them before. And I should have thought, oh, let me research this so I'm make sure I tell everybody right how to replace theirs. This tool's still messed up on me, but we're just going to tighten it the best we can. Oh look, that fixed it. That was actually cool. I actually like that. It fixed itself. But we're gonna make sure it's tight. I did not put thread lock on these. I didn't feel like these actually need as much thread lock like the other two. If you want to, go ahead. Brakes are secure though, guys. This side's in. That's really nice. That's nice and done. It's the same on the other side, so I'm gonna get the other side done. And then I'm gonna turn the camera back on and show you guys the back side. Alright, so now we're on to the back tire. It is the next day here. That's why I have different clothes on. Last night, unfortunately, I had a few stripped out lug nuts that I didn't realize were on here when I bought the car. So I went last night and I bought these and I had them replaced. If you don't budget for something like that when you're repairing your car, it can come as a big unexpected surprise. It cost me $180 overall for new lug nuts and for them to be swapped out because I didn't feel like dealing with it. Just due to the fact that they were stripped out as bad as they were. So now to the fact that they are done professionally, swapped out, and everything's good on the car, I'll now move on to doing the back tires. So hopefully everything goes smoothly here and I have nothing go wrong. So let's first remove these small ones. Let's remove these on the back. These brake pads on this side. Wrong size. Alright. So that screws out. We'll pop down the brake caliper like we did on the front side. Move that out of the way. Got it persuaded a little. It should come. Oh my gosh, that guy was stuck on there. That's what happens when they don't put them on right. So anyhow, there's lubricant you're supposed to put on the back of these brakes. I forgot to show you guys on the front ones. I went back and put it on, but I'll be putting it on these back ones when I replace them, and I'll show you guys that. So that's out. We're gonna close this up. If it will close up, looks like it's a little stuck already, like a little oversized. Actually, we need to pull these out first. There's one off to the side. Actually, the box clips on the back on this one again. In the box. And we'll wiggle these out. I do not like how these got stuck in there though. It's a real pain. There's two. We'll leave the clips in for now. We're going to close that and put the screw back in for the moment. This one will pop out for us today, so we'll be able to replace the rubbers on the back, which I can show you how to do them, which is how I'm supposed to do the front, but they won't come out right. And the new one just slips in like this. There we go, hooks in like that, and it just slips right back in. Just like that, people. Everybody. And then that's it. Well, let's put that screw back in. Tighten it down. I'll try to get that front one done again today, if it'll let me. Now taking off this caliper, which I'm not looking forward to. Ought to be fun. Alright, let's snap that in. see if I can get where I can put some weight on it. Oh, and there you go. This one's coming out smoothly now. And this one's got a screw in it again, so we're going to take that screw out when we get to changing this rotor out, which you guys saw on the front. It had a screw too, but I didn't realize it till after I started banging on it. Find a socket that works for this bottom one. That's a lot of work. Unfortunately, I broke it loose. Man, these things are on here tight. Don't hurt yourself when doing this though, overstraining it. If you don't feel like you can get it, get a breaker bar, get somebody bigger than you. I'm gonna hold this rotor up with, this caliper up with one hand while I do this, so I don't pull on that brake line. Try and be real gentle with it. You do not want that brake line to crack or get cut on anything when you're doing this. Wrong size. Small. Alright, now I'll take out this little mini screw. I got no problem holding this up with one hand. Just make sure you're not hitting anything with it. And we'll just take out this little mini screw that holds this rotor on. Almost there. This is fun. It actually is a lot more fun than it looks. So if it shakes off, yay! It's just gonna slide right off there for us. Alright. There's the old one. Now let's grab the new one out of its bag. Probably should have done that, but oh well. Alright. Alright, got the brake cleaner. Shake it up. And try to peel off the sticker if you can before. It'll rub off though if you can't when you spray this brake cleaner. And you guys didn't see this, but this stuff squirts a lot, so just clean it off. Then take a paper towel or some rags. Just wipe it down. And really go over that sticker if it's still on. We will get that sticker off. But we will work on that with hands. Just rub it really well with this cloth. Pulling off just since I got dirt outside, live in the country. Alright, now we're gonna get back that little bolt that'll hold up our rotor. Stick the new one on here. Make sure that the bolt, well, actually make sure that it fits first. We can pull our caliper back. There we go. Slide in place like that. Put it on. And tighten it back down. Alright, that's in place. Now we can put that brake caliper back on. Make sure it's wide enough. There we go. Back in place. Alright, the long one's on top, the short one's on bottom. Make sure you know which one goes where. And let me hurry up and get these back on so I can get done with this pretty quick. Just slid right on, guys. I like that. Well, almost perfect. Took me a couple seconds, but there it is. Alright. I'm just gonna let that lean back. And we got our thread lock. I almost forgot to put on. Put a little bit on there. And then we'll stick it right back in. And the thread lock is just important to make sure your caliper doesn't just pop off while you're driving because of all the shakiness that can happen due to you driving fast or on bumpy roads or just driving in general, and cause a lot of vibrations back here. And that's not good if your bolt's not fully tightened down, because it can come apart. And that's not something you want to happen while you're going the speed limit, or let's say you're on the highway and doing like 65, 70, and one of these things pops off. And that would not be a fun day. So let's put a lot of pressure back on this. That should be good. I'll pop out that bottom one again since I did not put thread locker on it. Got this out. Put some thread lock. There it is. Put it back in this little hole. Really? Seal that one on there. Okay. That's on. Alright, now we're going to replace the bottom rubber on the brake down here. Well, actually, I want to snap in the new brakes real quick, just so that I can screw in that top bolt and be good with it. Alright, so let me open up these new brakes real quick. Take out a set. They come already, so you know which one's front, which one's back. Well, it don't show you, but they come like side by side, so you know which, that you only had to grab 2 of them, well, a stack of them, and you know which ones go together. So I forgot to put this is silicone you put on the back of these brakes. I forgot to show you guys on the front, but just squeeze them out. Come on out. Gotta make the hole a little bit bigger. Alright, anyhow, we're just going to squeeze a little on the back of my brakes, wipe it off, and just rub it in. And let's make sure the brake does not stick to the rotor. Well, actually, the brake cylinder, the caliper cylinders, and just rub it on the back. Do not rub it on the front. This one was back, so take out this screw here. We'll open up the top again. I'm gonna set the screw and the brake down real quick and grab our metal. Now you pull 2 out. They're all identical on these. You need to check for your cars because sometimes they're not. So I'm just gonna pop out the old ones. Just 1 and 2, real easy. And just pop the new ones in. Alright, so my camera cut out on me, but I'll switch to my phone just so I can give you guys a close-up view on the brake. So this is that top bolt that holds on your brake pads. It holds this closed. It was the one I was removing when I lowered it down and opened it up to put in the brake pads and take them out. This was the top bolt that took off our caliper, and then I'll go underneath. And then right here is our bottom bolt that took off the bottom part of the caliper, and here's our other bolt that would allow this to open upwards, which I'm about to take off right now, and that's going to allow me to change that bottom black piece. So I'm on this video this whole piece. When I take this piece off, I'm going to be done. So that's free. Take our tools off, but they'll come off. There it goes. And we're going to take this bolt out right here, like this, and this piece will lift up like that. I don't know if you can see that, but it just pops out like that. And this is what should have happened on the front ones. I don't guess I didn't pull hard enough or something. And I told you guys I've never done this before. I really haven't. I've really never actually pulled the rubbers off these. But it comes off just like that. Let me grab a new one. Sorry, my hand's in the way. It's really dirty, my hands. Things are covered in grease. Alright, there's the new rubber, just slides on like that. I'm being really careful. Ah, never mind. Screw it, I'm gonna have to wash my phone now. I got stuff on my phone. But I have to use both hands, but it slides right back into place. And then it just closes right back up on it. Just like that. Just closes right back up. Just gonna take that bolt. I don't put thread lock on these. You guys can if you want. Just goes right back in. Take your wrench. And just crank it back down. Sorry. Alright, and that's pretty much about where it needs to be. And that's the back one's done, guys. I'm gonna just put the tire back on. But you guys can see it's not really sliding right now due to the fact the brake pads are kind of tight. When I get in the car and they start working out, they'll be better. They'll spin. But those brake pads are a little tight right now due to the fact I pushed them in by hand. They usually aren't this tight, but it'll work out. Like I said, when I start pumping in, I'll show you guys when I get the other side done. and then we're gonna take it for a test drive real quick, break these in, and then we'll be good on these. All right, let me finish up that and then we'll go for the test drive. All right, so I got all the brake stuff put on, and I have broken in my brakes, which consisted of going 45 miles an hour and hard braking to 5 miles an hour, and I did that 5 times, and then I went from 35 to 10 5 times at medium braking, and that's what the brakes came with instructions, and that's what called for me to do. If it does not call for instructions, I usually go from 60 to 5, about 10 times hard, and then about 5 times soft down, about 40 to about 10 to 15. I'm currently near that bridge that I tested out on the first video to show you guys how good the brakes were on this thing. I'm coming back up on it, so I'm going to get up to 60 miles an hour, and I'm going to brake at the same marker. And last time my car went 2 markers, and they're about 15 feet apiece. So my car went about 30 feet after I hit the brakes. So we'll see how good these do and see if I stop before that. So it did a little bit better than last time, guys. I stopped about maybe 5 feet shorter than the other two, and that was a rough estimate on about how far it took me to stop the first time. But I went a little bit shorter than I did the first time, the second time. So I had about a 5 foot difference. So I consider that pretty good. And they felt so much more comfortable braking with these brakes than the original brakes. With these, they cool down quicker, and due to them being drilled, and the slots, well, yeah, the slots on them allow the brakes to continually be cleaned off every time it goes around. It just knocks off debris and stuff off the brakes. I am happy with the way these are performing at the moment, and I think it was a good investment for me. If you ever go to buy them, I would suggest going to a big retail dealership, or just somewhere that you feel comfortable going, that you know the people and you know that they're going to give you the best price. I bought mine during Black Friday, so that when I went to install these, I had a pretty good deal on them due to the fact that they were discounted at the time. But they were still kind of expensive. Whatever way you decide to go, if you want to do a full breakup setup, or if you decide to just do your brakes, it's your choice. I would recommend going with rotors and brakes at the minimum if you do, because they really do help. But if you don't have the money to go back with anything more than the rotors you already got on your car, and the rotors you got on your car are nice, then just go back with some brakes if you have the money. But they are definitely a good investment. These were for me. And just do some research on your brakes before you buy them, if you're feeling like upgrading, so you know if you're getting the best deal on yours or not. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Please like and subscribe, and come back for the next video. Have a good night.